take it from there. I'm going to draw us a pretty little picture here. Wow, that's horrible. Really. This will be annual. Okay, so this is a capillary. I'm only drawing one capillary instead of a whole bed of them. I don't have the talent to draw a whole bed of capillaries, but I've got the small artery, the arterial, so blood will flow through that. It will then flow through the capillary, and then to the venule, to veins, back to the heart. So what I want to talk about is filtration and reabsorption. So filtration, this is just a real quick overview of capillaries. Fluid is pushed out of the blood. So that's what happens right here. Fluid is pushed out, that's filtration. That's because of blood pressure pushing. That's because of blood pressure pushing the fluid out of the blood. There's another thing that happens at our capillaries called reabsorption. And that's where fluid moves back into the blood. And this is usually because of osmosis. Water follows the solutes back into the blood. So if I come over here, fluid is being pushed back into the blood. That's reabsorption. That's sort of a quick overview of what happens in our blood capillaries. So in this area, this is where we have our organs, tissues, and cells. So this is where cells can get fluids if they need it. If they don't, it's reabsorbed. So far, so good? Okay. So I'm going to now pick it up with question number one. This will help question number one make sense. Okay, because sometimes we have fluid that's pushed out, but it's not reabsorbed. So sometimes we end up with extra fluid in this area. So the lymphatic system, our new chapter, 14. The lymphatic system, its job is to pick up extra tissue fluid. And when I say excess tissue fluid, I'm talking about fluid that was filtered out of the blood but not reabsorbed. So it's just kind of sitting there, and the lymphatic system will pick it up and return it to the bloodstream. And that's it. That's our overview. Now, tissue fluid, I'm going to write that twice. Of course, that's got a fancy name. We're talking about the fluid outside of the cells in our tissues. That is called interstitial fluid. So that's kind of an overview of the lymphatic system. What it does is it picks up excess fluid that was filtered out of the blood but not reabsorbed, and it takes it back to the bloodstream. So question one says, describe the pathway of lymph flow from lymphatic capillaries of the body to the subclavian veins. You have all this? Mm-hmm. All right. So, returning the blood or the fluid back to the bloodstream. So we're going to start with lymphatic capillaries. And I'm just going to put in here that they surround blood capillaries. They are going to pick up that excess fluid, and once they do, we got to call the fluid something else. We call it lymph now. It was tissue fluid, now we call it lymph. These lymphatic capillaries are going to take the fluid, the lymph, into lymphatic vessels. Which the beginning of your chapter, whatever page this is, 386, all of those green vessels are lymphatic vessels. So they're carrying the lymph, and then lymphatic vessels are going to drain that lymph, that fluid, into one of two ducts. We have a right lymphatic duct and we have a thoracic duct. I make my arrows better. Now I'm going to put over here off to the side the right lymphatic duct. It gets that fluid, that lymph, from lymphatic vessels on the upper right side of the body. That's the shortest way I can word that. It's everything above the diaphragm on the right side. So the right side of your head, neck, chest, and your right arm. The thoracic duct, that gets fluid, that lymph from lymphatic vessels on the upper left side of the body. And the entire lower body. So, again, everything above the diaphragm on the left side and your entire abdominal region, both legs, all of those vessels will drain into the thoracic duct. And actually, if you look at page 386, there's a single green duct running down the middle, right there. That's the thoracic duct. The single one running down the middle. Hey, there's only two of you, I can point it out for both of you. The single one right there. That's the thoracic duct. You'll have to identify that one in lab. All right, now the right lymphatic duct will take the fluid right into the right subclavian vein. Notice how I abbreviate. The thoracic duct will take that lymph fluid and put it into the left subclavian vein. And that's it. That's the flow of lymph.